Now, I need to show you this document. I'm going to run through this document. This is a fully researched multi-university compilation. As you go through these details, you will see there are universities in the US, in Finland, and a few other places have all combined the study. It is about the asphalt pollutions and the effects in molecular targets, that's a human molecular targets. That's in other words, the effect on people, the effect on humans. So, of course, the study, as like any paper, will go through a lot of details showing that most of the roads and the automobile industries and everything started in the US. So they have a longer history of all this. And then why asphalt is used, and I don't want to go through all that. And they have actually tied all documentation and all other wherever they made references and taken information from other journals and all that, they have quoted that. As usual, they have to do this. So this makes it a very detailed kind of thing. So of course this paper is concluding in 2023. So they have information from PubMed and so on, many locations. So when you go through it, you will know. So the effect of asphalt on general health. Okay. So of course, as usual, they will take information from World Health Organization, EPA, and many other places. Of course, the EPA is environmental protection. This is about health, so they will have to take from occupational hazards and all that, or NEOSH or something. That's how the body is known in the North America. Okay, so we'll go through that. That's been seen there. All right. So likewise, okay. Let me quickly run through the point. Okay, emission, absorption, how is it absorbed, and so on. What is the impact? The details are for people like in the medical field, or I'm sharing this with the DMO and the health ministry. Let them go and dig into it if they want to. So there is nothing else we can do other than provide these help to them. So and so on. Okay, now I will quickly run off to page. Of course, the relevance of cancers and association to cancers and these are all very well-known things. Okay, it is again re-established in all this, how it damages the DNA and how it affects the next generation and all those things I can explain. Okay, dermal, that is skin exposure, inhalation exposure. Okay. Okay. Whose health is affected most? I will leave it to you. Of course, people who work with this on a daily basis, or people who are close by, are the most affected. That's for sure. Okay. All right. Now I am going to go to the, all these bread as you see are all references to other journals, or other research papers. Okay. Here is the interesting thing. I'm going to go through some recreating the fumes. So people think that it's easy to measure. No, it's either recreating the fumes in situ or in a laboratory environment. They have done this. Of course, there are seasonal variations. You cannot duplicate it exactly. But there are many methods for all this. EPA has already standardized methods to calculate emissions and all that. This has been there for quite a while. So that is for emissions. Okay. See, this is a key point that you Due to the complexity of asphalt composition and the challenges of collecting volatile samples as a function of time and exposure, no matter which lab, there are very few labs that are capable of performing a comprehensive, leave alone complete mass spectrometric analysis of the aerosols and the vapors. So most labs cannot do this. Forget about any of the Indian labs being able to do it, no matter what you say, which university, all right? So people tend to think that that is the case. Yeah, I don't want to mention names here. Summarize this one. From these are all these are also the these on the top where you see all the X over the years. Many of the labs were not able to not mention or not specifically listed. X meaning not done at all. So different labs and different journals, they only started including from like about 2020 onwards. Then again, not all of them. You see, these are all serious benzopyrene, all these are problematic emission, pollutants from the asphalt plant. But yet they are all not being measured. They are not easily captured or measured. They are not easily captured or measured. See, not mentioned, not specifically listed, X means not done at all. So there is this, index here for you to look up, what these mean. Okay, that's exactly not mentioned, not measured, or not specifically listed, and so on. All right, let's go on. So then here comes the page number, I think this is page number 7. Here it started, these are more pronounced emissions which can be measured, which is known to exist, and none of this will ever be. So just because you are not capable to measure doesn't mean it exists. So you don't do all the research in India so as to be able to use something. You accept it from a scientific community. You accept things from a scientific community. Don't insist that it needs to be done by a university in Kerala. That is idiocy. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes they can't do it at all. So let me stop here. And although this runs with a fascinating detail all the way to about 14 pages, there is stuff that is measured usually, stuff that are typically not measured by most people, stuff that is not measured by most people, stuff that should be measured for asphalt plants, but the Indian standards do not have them at all. Okay, so where do you go and establish them? So just because you wave your hand and you say that you can't feel the air doesn't mean it doesn't exist. No, just because your incapability should not be a conclusion that it doesn't exist. All right. So that's my point. That is my point. And that's the point I want to make. And that's a point you need to understand. And this is a point anybody who presents this kind of thing and in a court of law or something have to drive this point. I hope that's all I can do. The rest you have to go through them. Alright? I ran through them multiple times. Like I have done many documentation. Try to understand as much as I can. So this material can be downloaded at this location. The source is there. This is authentic. That's a source. It says any updates are also indicated where it will be updated. Um, so Frontiers in org, that's where you get it from. Hope that makes sense. It will make sense if somebody puts in the details. If somebody wants to learn. The medical field and biosciences can decipher this in a very short time, as short as 30 minutes if they want to, unless of course they want to verify the references and so on.